Hello, it's me again. Definitely here, definitely living. I wanted to record another video because why the hell not? I don't know how much of this stuff I'm gonna edit out for the intro, but I just like recording them and like trying to get whatever I've got on my chest off, like whatever little jitters I've got, so that I can like just be a bit more interesting or easy to follow for all of you. But today's video idea. Let me pull the thing up real quick. All right. Today's video idea is being real with yourself and sort of trying to put together the pieces on why like so many of us feel lonely now. Like our friends just don't want to do anything, or they're too busy, or you're tired of your friends because they're too much for you. Like they're just doing things that you're not interested in, like your views just don't align with them anymore. I'm gonna try to cover that as a topic because I thought it'd be pretty interesting. But without further ado, yeah, let me hurry up and get into it. Today's video is slightly scripted, by the way, so don't know if that matters too much. All right. So the first question I really have is, why do I feel the need to connect with others? And like, it's genuinely a really good question, because like the first thing you would expect to say is like, oh, you need people in your life. To some degree, I do agree, but there's like a certain limit that you hit to where you can't really be around people too much because they're not fully aligning with your views, or they're just doing things that aren't really the most, what's the word I can use here, like in your character. It's not like a part of your virtue list. I don't know how to explain it, but like I've been in plenty of situations where I've had to like take a step back, definitely, and just sit and think like, what are my friends doing right now? Or like, what are my peers doing right now? Like, or is what they're doing, does it really align with me? So, you want to ask yourself that. And then the next question that comes out of that is like, why do I feel the need to connect with others? It's because you do in fact need like-minded people in your life. So I do think that you do in fact need friends. I do see that as a thing that people, no matter how much they want to deny it or say, oh, I don't need anybody because I've got this and this and this. And like my favorite thing that a lot of Christians like to say, and being a Christian, it just kind of blows me, is, oh, I don't need anybody, I've got God. Which is correct, but it's also incorrect. I mean, like you need companionship. You need like people. That's why we go to church, so we can connect with others, and like through God. Or maybe I'm being like facetious or something, I don't know, maybe I'm talking out of my ass here, but I genuinely do think people need each other. All right, we're still going. Oof. So after I hit that question, the next question I would want to ask myself is, do others see you how you see yourself? And that's a pretty tricky question, because I mean, I guess you could go and ask a bunch of people like, hey, how do you see me? Like, am I a little bit off to you? Am I this? You're gonna get vastly different responses, and I would know, because of course my fucking kiss up ass wants to go see what people think about me. And, to some degree I do care, to some degree I don't. So it's like the way others perceive me might not actually be an indicator of what I am. Because once again, I don't feel the need to like have that validation from other people. But if I would have to guess, I would say maybe they do see me the way I see myself, as somebody that's just independent, willing to say whatever they want, no matter what. And if my friends do see me like that, that's great. If they don't see me like that, if they see me in any other sort of way, then the next question is, why can't I connect with my peers? And that's a pretty weird question to ask, because you connect with your peers every day when you go to school, when you go and talk to them. But what I mean by that is like a deeper level of like connection that you don't really seem to get anymore, with people just not wanting to be around people, or people just being too petty and caught up in their own dramas. Nobody really wants to feel like they need people. Everybody's on their loner arc because they think it's fucking cool. Like they're literally on their winter arc. They're just thugging it out by themselves, or they're doing the complete exact opposite, and they're living in like their fucking like 21st century white girl party girl mindset. Even like fucking dudes, bro. It's fucking astonishing how much these niggas get around. But like, it just makes you ask, like, what really changed? What about myself really changed for me to not feel like I am like a part of this generation? Because like I'll try to sit down and have a conversation about something that like is relevant, and like it feels like social media has genuinely just ruined people's brains to where they can only focus on drama, drugs, or just not fucking with people. Like everybody's a hater or some shit. And it's very sad to see, because I do like a lot of my like peers. I love people with all of my heart. Like I genuinely do feel deeply connected to people all the time, but I can't connect with them anymore because they're not open to that connection. And it sucks. It does, but there's nothing that I can really do about it. Does this make me feel alone? In a sense, yes. In a sense, no. Because I know that other people do feel like this. It's not just me. Like there's definitely got to be other people who are thinking like me, like, hey, the way everything is so divided is weird. Like people are starting to genuinely feel like they don't need people in their lives that they definitely do. Or people are starting to shut themselves in and hermitize and not want to be around anybody. Or people are acting ungodly so that nobody wants to be around them in the first place. And it really does suck. All right. This is the second recording for the same video. So, being alone feels a little rewarding for its freedom, because at least you understand that you're being true to yourself, and you're not like changing up your values because you want people to like you. I think that's really the beauty in being alone, because you're never really alone with God, or you're never really alone because you do have people, be it family or be it friends or some other source. There's always an outlet for people to go reach out and go talk to somebody. But the independence of it feels rewarding. But it's still fucking lonely. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love being independent and this and this and this and this, but you can't be so independent that you don't need people. You do. You are a social being. You have to have people in your life. But you don't have to have people in your life that don't align with your values. You don't have to have people in your life that treat you poorly like shit. You don't have to have people in your life that don't want you to be there. That's why being yourself is the best way to love yourself, really, in my opinion. Like, you can't learn to love yourself unless you just are yourself. And your friends will then learn to love you. At least the real ones will learn to love you too. If they're like actively making you suppress who you are, you feel like you have to change to be around them, then those aren't your friends, honey. I'm sorry. They're not your friends. They're a bunch of people that you conspire with to go shoot the shit. They're a bunch of people that you get together on the fucking weekends with, and then maybe like have a bottle of alcohol or something. Or even if you don't do that, it's just people that you sit around with so that you don't feel alone. I mean, I don't get why people subject themselves to that. I try not to personally, but you can't really read people too well. So there comes a point then where you have to ask, like, are my friends good people? What even makes like a good friend? And in my opinion, it's really hard. Well, it's not hard at all, actually. It's pretty easy to say what makes a good friend. Somebody that's there for you, somebody that you can depend on, they can depend on you, somebody that aligns with your values, somebody that actively uplifts you and tries to make you do better. But there's more to it. It's really subjective, honestly. What is a good friend to you? Because somebody's good friend might be that one person that just comes in and says hello in the morning. That could be a good friend. Or a good friend could be somebody that you've known for years and you need to operate with in some sense. But you can definitely tell when you have a good friend, like somebody that makes conversation flow easily, somebody that's after your own heart, somebody that you can look at and say, yeah, I could see a lifelong, and I don't mean it like a sexual relationship, like a couple. I mean it like a relationship. Like, you can formulate a relationship with that person and know that it's safe and secure. But like, sometimes people want to be alone. Why does that even matter? It does. It really fucking does, because you're basically just going to be like, I love that. I like this whole meme that I've been seeing. And like, I genuinely fucking denied it at first. I was like, nah, the people are just like over exaggerating. But no, like, these fucking avoidant type of people, they're so fucking real, bro. They're so fucking real. And it's a little bit funny to look at, because like, once again, I'm speaking out of my ass on that avoidant shit. I don't know anything about it. Genuinely, it seems pretty fucking weird and neo-psychology or whatever the fuck, pseudo-psychology, or yeah, whatever the hell. It just seems weird. But like, there are people genuinely who are just like hermits in a real sense. Like, they will go home after like a long day of being social or working or whatever. They will in fact go home and then just fall off the face of the fucking planet. And I don't mean like they're falling off the face of the planet for like the next maybe 8 hours, 24, 48. No, I mean like they just don't do anything. They just don't exist outside of where you see them. And I pray for those people, really, because I know they're living a lonely life. I know that they secretly don't want to be that way, but the way society is, we've pushed them into a corner. We've pushed the introverts into feeling like they have no voice, and there's no point in trying to voice their voice because nobody's going to understand them anyways. And that's the fault of us as humans. That's the fault of us because we're not as accepting as we say we are. We're not as open to new ideas as we say we are. I mean, some people are, like me, for instance. I fucking love hearing things. I'm just a talker, but I'm also a devil's advocate. So I mean, I guess some people can interpret that as, I don't think you're very accepting of anything. But that's the thing. You should be accepting in the sense that you should know people have differing ideas and people have differing opinions and people have different personalities. You need that in your life. You need that sense of diversity. You really do. People can deny it all they want. I care that people want to be alone, because you shouldn't. You should. There's a time and place for you to be alone. Like, don't get me wrong. I fucking love my free time. When I want to be alone, I want to be alone, and I will make that apparent. I will voice it out to you. Like, I'm ready to go home. Essentially, is what I do. But you need people. You need people. You really fucking do. I'm gonna leave that at that and try to go on to the next thing, because I'll keep ranting about that forever. And I really think a lot of it has to do with what I would like to call the breakdown of love thy neighbor benevolence. Why is that so fancy? What does that even mean? Here's what it means. America is fundamentally lacking in the values that we've established. I don't want to spread too much religious jargon, but I genuinely think that the Bible had something going on with loving thy neighbor and people coming together as a community to be good to each other and to get to know one another, like the Arthur theme song. But nobody's willing to open their eyes nobody's willing to say, hey, it's a wonderful kind of day. Nobody wants to love their neighbor. Everybody wants to call them weird and be the first one to criticize, be the first one to be hypocritical, be the first one to get your voice out because you feel like I need to be heard and my way is the right way and there's no other way. No, it's not like that. Love thy neighbor. Talk. Reach out a hand. Don't be so quick to judge, like racism. I don't understand it. I'm black. I can definitely say that white racism shit is real. But so is the normal type of racism that America likes to talk about. Like, it's all just so fucking dividing and polarizing, and I don't get why people are like this. Because they don't love their neighbor. This topic is there a loneliness epidemic? Well, topic, question, it's probably the same topic. I'm gonna edit that part out. But the next question is there a loneliness epidemic? Fuck yeah. Alright, I think we left off at, is the loneliness epidemic real, or is there a loneliness epidemic? Whatever the fuck I named this in the little notes thingy. Let me just whatever the hell I named it in the little thingy. In my opinion, yeah. There definitely does seem to be some sort of epidemic of loneliness. And this isn't to fish to any sort of group. There is no connections to anything you may be, no videos you may be thinking of or anything. But there is a large loneliness epidemic because the people are so divided. Be it 4B movement, incels, fucking YNs, all the way out to your white girls. Nobody is really willing to reach out because everybody has been divided up into their own little cliques, in my opinion. And, you know, that sucks, but there's nothing you can really do about it other than try to be nicer to people. Because really the message that I'm trying to spread out is to be kind, is that we should be kind to one another and we should learn to be more accepting of each other, because it would help conversations go a lot easier. It would help like you to feel less lonely. It would help you to feel better. Why do the good people hide, and what brings the nasty people to the forefront? Good people hide because they're tired of being hurt by just those people that don't really seem to give a fuck. Your sociopaths and narcissists of the world, the ones that somehow lack so much empathy that they're going to call you the abuser, or they're going to call you the hypocrite, or you're the toxic one because you're genuinely just doing what you do in your life. I like to watch a lot of political videos. And like one thing I've always noticed is that the nastier people like to hang out in flocks because they can't seem to mentally handle the weight of being themselves, so they live vicariously through each other. And you know, if you're a good person, you don't want to live that way. You just want to live your life. You want to be as kind as you can to other people, and you want to make it known that you're your own person. You do your own things, but you do want to be around people. But if you're not doing what the nasty people want you to do, they're not going to accept you into their little clique. I've had the benefit and curse of seeing and being on both sides of the coin. And what I will say is it's a lot more lonely when you start initially trying to do the right thing. Like, it hits harder that you're just not going to be the same as most of your peers. And then, like, it extra fucking slaps once you're there and you're comfortable with what you've become. Like, it comes at you like a second wave, like, damn, I really don't have any friends. Like, damn, I really don't have any true friends that I can call, like, real people, because they're all too busy getting a new partner and forgetting about you, or they're all too busy just living life in general. And, you know, there's a difference between people who are just living life because they're living life and they can't really get back to you. Like, they're working, or childbirth, or family situation. There's a difference between that and then people who will actively go out of their way to just avoid you. And, like, I've seen it. See those watching this video and you're like, could they be talking about me? I think you know who you are. But it's not just one person. It's a lot. And you know what? Honestly, I forgive all of you because you're just doing your thing, and I really can't say anything about it. I just hope that you realize that there's a lot of people that you are hurting, that you probably should at least show some remorse for, and be a good person. What makes a good friend is somebody that's there for you, that you can depend on. And I've been that shoulder that people can lean on, and I've also had people whose shoulder I've needed to lean on. And I think some people forget that, you know, even the people that help you, they need help too. So be that person that just reaches out a hand and tries to help, honestly. That's the best thing you can do in your life. Does being a bad friend mean that you're a bad person? No, not by any merit. It's more so just indicative that you might have something in your life that you need to figure out to be a better person to others. Like, I've met plenty of people that aren't the best friends, but when I've really had it, like, sit down with them, they seem to be pretty nuanced, and they do really understand what they're doing, and they could be like such shining, bright fucking stars for people, but instead they just, once again, do their own thing. And you know what? I can't tell you not to. Do whatever you want. If you want to be on your own wave, if you want to be on your selfish mango winter arc, go right the fuck ahead. All power to you. Just know that when you're lonely, it was in fact your fault, and you can't really do anything about it, and you can't really blame other people, because that's one thing that I like to see, or I don't like to see, but that's one thing I see a lot. Is like these people that like fucking purposely isolate themselves will go out and then say, oh yeah, I'm just fucking tired of people. I hate people. All they do is this and this and this. Bitch, you haven't even met the people to go talk to them. You're not even doing a good job of being open to go see if there would be any difference. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You can't really do anything. But, you know, pray for them. Hopefully they get better. This reminds me of my fucking mom a little bit. Like the thing moms do where they think they're always right, so that they, and it kind of makes them like, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of my ass, but it's just a thing that a decent bit of moms do, where they just like to like talk like they know fucking everything, and act like they're so smart and like they don't need people, but then they cry about how like, oh, I'm the best person ever, why does nobody like me? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's because you're not being fucking open. You're talking about how good you are all the time and just putting down other people. But maybe I'm just going on a too personal tangent. And you know, I forgive those who trespass against me. I feel like everybody should. We should always strive to forgive those who trespass against us, because that's what the Lord would want. But we should also make sure that we're acknowledging living ghosts, people that are walking through their life without people, and they really do need them. Make sure that you're recognizing that there are living ghosts, so that you can bring them back to life. Because living ghosts, really, they're dull. Their senses, they're like, I don't think they realize that what they're doing by loaning themselves is really just them. It's really them just like deadening deafening their ears, shutting off their hearts. They need more support than the average person, I would say, because loneliness can lead to one thing, and then it gets out of hand, and then there's a story that nobody wants to hear. So make sure that you're acknowledging living ghost, and living ghost, if you are the living ghost that I'm talking about, the person that always needs to be alone and doesn't understand people, so you choose to not connect, or you feel like it's been made that you can't connect with other people. Just know that there are people there, and feel again, connect again. That's the best thing you can do to fix that feeling, and I hope you know that. People aren't out to get you. People love you, in fact. You're probably one of the best people that we know, and we just really want you to be in our lives, but, people have fumbled, and, you choose to punish them for that. Because I hate to, sound like I'm pushing things on you, but what you are doing is punishing people realistically. You might not see it that way, but it is, and I have empathy for it. I can say I do understand, but what I don't understand is how far you'll go until you realize that you need to make that change in your life. Do I need to recognize good friends from bad friends? Yeah. Of course, yes. You don't want to fill your life with regret because you weren't understood by others. You don't want to fill your life with pain and turmoil because you had nobody there to support you. It'll help you to understand yourself a lot. That's what, when I was on my, hey, maybe I need to actually test the waters and see who's really there for me and who's not. It helped me understand myself very fucking greatly. And now I know what I want in a friend. Now I know what I need in a relationship. Now I know what my family dynamic is. And it will help you curate your friend groups. It'll help you curate your peers. It'll help you create a group of like-minded people that understand you and want to be there with you. You deserve it. You need it. Seek it. Believe in the dream, because it's fucking real, bro. So that's it for all of the main topics. Now, after this, I'm just going to be switching to general topics, just little things that I want to go over in quick succession before I, close it with the end statement. So, social media is ruining peer companionship. Social media has removed every single part of society, like the social part of society. It's removing every single little bit in detail out of it. Social media is quite literally the main thing you should not be on if you want to have a good social life. When you are on social media, what you are doing is you are carefully cherry picking what you want to feed into your brain. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. When you open up Instagram and you're going on there and you're fully scrolling and looking through everything and you're like, wow, love this, like this, you're feeding an algorithm that is essentially hell, because it will trap you and pull you deeper. Every single scroll that you make brings you deeper into the hellscape of what the internet pretty much is. And I'm being a hypocrite pretty much by saying this, then going to upload it on social media. But social media does not help you. If you want to have a social life, you're not on social media all the time. You aren't sitting there and constantly looking at what other people have and feeling like you're happy. There's no way you can be that way. People are talking about they're lonely, and then they're sitting there looking at all of your friends on social media and not actually going out to go talk to them. You want to know what your friends think. What they're reposting about the next political thing isn't what they actually believe in. Like, I mean, maybe to some degree it is, but it's not the whole culmination of them. You need to get off social media. You need to go and have good connections. Am I wrong in saying that? I don't think I am personally. Maybe I might be a little bit hypocritical, but I ain't wrong. Social media inherently removes the socialization out of socializing. It boils it down to like its most weird innards, its weirdest bare bones. It boils it down to like concepts and ideas that can be easily taken out of context and like wildly spun. Like, you can have a whole conversation about somebody without them ever knowing for years thanks to social media. I mean, I guess you could do it before, but it's significantly harder. And it has a lot to say with how modern day society is and the love thy neighbor benevolence thing not being a thing anymore. It's because social media. I genuinely believe that it's because of social media. If we didn't have social media, I'm pretty sure I would still like be going over to my neighbor's house and asking them about like fucking pumpkin pie or some shit, whatever the people did. And let me not say like the 1600s or something, because I wouldn't have been loved by that neighbor very much. But in like maybe like the 80s, I'm pretty sure it was a more dangerous time. I don't know. You really can't tell with how things are going, but at least I had that sense of community that isn't really there anymore. I couldn't say when I used to live in like my more because I've grown up in it. I'm not saying I'm top tier pristine now, but when I was growing up, I lived pretty impoverished, and that's very humbling. But I would say that there was a lot more of a sense of community between like lower class than you would think there is. I feel like once people start getting money and start getting a little bit of elitism in them, or they start hitting the elite status a little bit, that's when they start really like isolating. And it is what it is. All this pretty much to say that I do believe that Christian values can save your relationships. I know that if I keep talking about this, a lot of people aren't going to keep watching the video, so I'm going to just leave it at that. There's a time for me, best believe there will be a time for me to bring up religious topics, and I'm wholly excited to, if you couldn't tell by my fucking crazy look in my eyes. But think about that for those who know. Selfishness and selfishness. Whoa, reading off the script here. Selflessness and selfishness. How do they blend? Once you become too selfless, people are going to start seeing you a little bit differently. Like you're a kiss up, or you're doing too much, or you're weird, or you're this and this and this and this. And if you give too much, you will not get anything in return. Let's just put it like that. You're making sales, but you're not seeing any profit. Like, if you get what I'm laying down, like there's definitely relationships that you can tell when a person's just being a fucking big old leech. And get tired of it. Get angry. Tell your friends that are being bad friends, horrible people. Tell them that they're just doing that. Let's see how well that goes over. If they listen, and maybe they're a better friend than I thought, or you thought. But if they don't, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. You gotta do it yourself. But selfishness, I don't think that can really be mistaken for. Nah, I definitely can, because you see those fucking popular people, and then there's people like eating up every little bit of a fucking crumb and like, oh, you're so kind, you're so this and this and this and this and this. Yeah, no. Selfish people, fucking avoid them. Because they'll try to do everything that they can to make it seem like you're making something, but really you're just feeding into them and their delusions and whatever worldview they secretly have that they're not telling you about. Yeah, I said it. All right. Anyways, is finding new friends fake? It all depends on how you go about it, really. Like, if you find new friends and then immediately go and drop all your old ones, or make it so that you're just not talking to them or checking in on them, yeah, you're fucking fake, Brody. Let's just put it like that. Or if you're like using your friends, that's very obviously fake. If you're constantly putting your friends down because you don't agree with them, you're fucking fake. But if you're trying to get away from that, if you're trying to get away from all that, and you're finding new friends because you genuinely feel like your old ones aren't aligning with your beliefs and you need new friends, you are doing right. So, at the end of it, learning to accept loneliness and embracing new experiences can be one and the same. You should be lonely for a bit. I feel like everybody should go through a point in their life where they're just a little bit lonely, and then they should go and experience something new. Don't be a hermit. Don't go and sit inside all day and don't come out and never touch the grass. No. Take about a good 2 weeks, month, turn off the social media, just do whatever the fuck you do. Like, do you think, try to sing something. Do your thing, something like that. Fucking Andre 3000 said that shit or something like that. I'm ready to end this recording, but, you heard what I said. I don't need to fucking repeat myself. Some extra topics that I can just bring up real quick are toxic relationships. When you see them. I think I'm gonna leave that to another video. One-sided friends can also go with the toxic relationship train, and aligning your beliefs. I think all of those are gonna be a new video because I don't really feel like bringing it up right now, and I feel like the recording is gonna be a fucking nightmare to edit. So, other than that, please have a blessed day. Really. Once again, think about whether you want to accept the loneliness or you want to embrace a new opportunity. Think about what it means to have a true friend. Think about if your friends align with your beliefs. Think about pretty much everything I just said. If you really watch this video and pay attention to it, we'll see. I'm gonna make this one public. This will be a public conversation. I guess I'm gonna get off the camera. I love you, Pookies. All right, bye bye.